Hello and welcome to this National Career Service webinar on how to improve your interview technique. These are the topics that we will look at during this webinar so that by the end of the webinar, you'll be able to use the STAR technique effectively. You'll be able to present with confidence and you'll be able to answer difficult interview questions. So what interview questions might you be asked? A job interview is an opportunity for an employer to meet you, but also to look more closely at your ability to do the job in comparison to others. They're likely to be looking at three key areas. The first area is competence. Do you have the knowledge, skills, and experience to be able to do the job they want you to do? Commitment. Are you sufficiently enthusiastic about the role? Are you motivated to achieve? And cultural fit. So do you align with the company's values? Can you fit in with the demands of the job and the culture of the working environment? Using the STAR technique is a great way to give examples of your skills to an interviewer. So when preparing your interview answers, use the following structure below. This will help you to answer the question accurately. It will also encourage you to give an example of you performing the competence in question and, more importantly, demonstrating the impact of your actions. So S stands for situation. So what was the situation and when did it take place? T stands for task. What was the task and what was the objective of the task? A stands for action. So what action did you take to achieve this? And R stands for results. So what happened as a result of your action? So here's an example of an answer to an interview question using the STAR technique. So the question is, describe a situation where you have worked as a part of a team to achieve something. So what is the employer looking for in this question? They're looking for evidence that you can work as part of a team. They're looking for evidence that you're able to make a contribution on an individual level. And they're looking for analytical skills. They're looking to see whether you can reflect on a work-based task, can you learn from the experience, and can you apply this to your career? So what might you say in response to this question? A good example is the following. So during peak season, I worked with my store colleagues to meet branch sales targets which were set by head office. It was important that all members of the team were positive and remained enthusiastic even though the shop was very busy. I contributed by meeting all of my personal targets and also helping my colleagues to close sales. As a result, we exceeded our branch sales target. I learned that helping out team members rather than simply focusing on my own goals helps to improve productivity and also makes for a happier work environment. So what about those difficult interview questions? There are always questions that are a challenge to answer. See below for an example and some suggestions of how you might tackle this. So the question is, what is your biggest weakness? Try to avoid the cliche of being a perfectionist. Also, try not to focus in on one of the key skills for the job, as the employer may then think you are unsuitable for the role. It would be better to talk about one of the non-essential skills for the role and also try to turn a negative into a positive. It's also good to give an example where you may have already tried to address the problem. For example, you may not enjoy giving presentations, but you've done a course in order to improve your confidence so that in future you can give presentations and you may not feel so nervous about it. Most of us are nervous when we have an interview, so it's quite difficult to make sure that we present ourselves with the confidence that we may not feel. However, here are some tips to try and help you the next time you have an interview to present yourself with confidence, even though you may not be feeling it inside. So smile and shake hands with the interviewer. Watch your body language. Try not to fidget. Try to remain calm and confident during the interview. Keep eye contact with the interviewer. Even leaning forward slightly is a non-verbal way of saying, I am interested in this job. Listen carefully to what the interviewer is saying and think before you answer. Don't just rush in to say something. The interviewer won't mind if you take a few seconds to think about your answer before going ahead with it. You could also ask the interviewer to repeat the question if you don't understand it, or even to rephrase it. If you need time to think about something, don't be afraid to say so or to pause for a while before answering the question. It's a good idea to be prepared for any questions and to give good examples that the employer will remember long after the interview. Be positive about your skills. Interviewers will want someone who is enthusiastic about the job and about the organization, so make sure you do your research first. Make sure you answer the questions asked, and remember, if you're not sure, ask them to repeat it or rephrase the question to make sure that you present yourself in the best possible way. It's always good for you to ask some questions too at the end of the interview. It gives the interviewer something to remember you by. So have some questions ready to ask. You could use this opportunity to return to a point you want to clarify or elaborate on that happened during the interview. For example, where do you see this role fitting in with the rest of the organization? What are the current goals the company is focused on? What's the company and team culture like? Or what training opportunities do you offer? Other questions you could ask: are there development opportunities for the future? Is there anything else that I can provide you with that would be helpful? And when do you expect to make a decision? Remember to smile, shake hands, and say thank you for seeing me at the end of the interview. This will leave a good impression with the interviewer. Thank you for watching this webinar. We hope you find it useful. We would encourage you to look at the National Career Service website for more help on interview advice, as well as top 10 interview questions. We also have further webinars available on the STAR technique and what to wear for your interview and how to get ready for an interview on careers inspiration, which you might find useful. If you find that you need further help and support and you'd like a one-to-one with a careers advisor, or even just a short session, for example, if you've been furloughed recently, then please call 0800 100 900 and you can make an appointment directly with a National Service Careers Advisor. Thank you.